And so Christian Stellini added his name on Saturday to the long list of managers and players that have all gone, I don't know why they sit back. Scooby-Doo, I don't know. He's a man schooled in the way of Antonio Conte, so there's going to be a lot of that. And I think for the press conference I was away from, he took quite an offence to someone describing Conte as a defensive manager. Taking offence at defence. Yeah, he was not happy. So for once, it wasn't me getting told from the press conference, which was quite nice. But yeah, what he did say about the sitting back, he said, the only question mark against their efforts the players need to have is don't give 2 games in one. This is his club interview. Play only one. When we score, again, we drop too much. We allowed the opponent to score 2 goals, not 1, and to recover that is very difficult. We did because we gave everything on the pitch and we had the opportunity to win with Richarlison. And he added on the team sitting back, it's the mindset. The mindset has to change absolutely because it was not our intention. We need to go strong. When we scored the first goal, immediately we dropped back. We have to keep the ball, not waste it, and play strong. This is the only thing that's important to analyse because today we played 2 different games. The game was well prepared, we played good, and after the goal it changed and we don't have to do it. So I pushed a little bit further in the press conference. I'd seen those quotes. And honestly, Stellini in that press conference was the most dejected I've ever seen him. I'd almost go as far to say he was like a defeated man. Well, he was technically a defeated man because his team had just lost, but he looked like a man who just kind of was like, oh, what am I supposed to do here? Which is never a good sign. He wasn't kind of bullish or anything like that. He looked genuinely quite just fed up with everything. I think that's eventually the look that everyone that seems to come into contact with Tottenham Hotspur has. So I pushed a little bit further on that kind of aspect of things. And he said, we played 2 different games. We played a good game until we scored and after we conceded the second goal. But what is in the middle is not the mindset we have to use because we started the game well. When we scored, we dropped. We dropped again. We have to change this type of mindset. We have said many times that we need to continue to go strong and try to keep the ball in their half of the pitch. We did this only when we were 2-1 down. It's a habit we have. It's not the first time. It's a long time that we do this, but we have to be perfect in the defensive situation. Today we were not so perfect because we allowed them to score with 2 mistakes. This is a problem. It's not a tactical problem. It's an individual problem, a mistake. Big words there because technically he's not going as far as Conte, but he is saying, not me, Gov, it's the players. It's not my tactical kind of setup. It's not the way we've prepared them. They've gone out there and done that. Which, whether he's right or wrong, I do think he's probably right to a certain degree. And to a degree. But I also think, there's aspects that the way the team has been set up, I think over the years that has led to this. To try and say it's nothing to do with coaching. I know, you've heard me say this before. There's so many managers and players. We've heard Kane talk about it. We've heard Lloris talking about it in the past as well, about how the players just suddenly naturally sit back and it's not what they want to do. But at a point, you have to look at the coaching. I think you do, because I guess when you've had 3 managers in a row, 4 if you want to say with Stellini, with a preference for a style that demands, it's more of a compact style, isn't it? A compact system, which calls for you to sit back and then suddenly, kind of like a snake, kind of uncoil and attack and like a counter-attack. I think if you're doing that, it drills the mentality into the players that they should naturally sit back and hope for an opening. I have no doubt that they're not actually being told to do that, to sit back. But in such a compact system, I think the natural tendency might be just to retreat into what you kind of think is a safe space almost. The safety of this compactness. Rather than taking risks, I suppose, and playing more openly. Because I'm trying to remember whether it happened under Poch, the sitting back. It's difficult because you're going to confuse it where there were certain games where at the end of a match, sometimes Spurs would fall a little bit deeper and you'd be like, no, why are you inviting this pressure on yourself? But I wouldn't say it was something they did from the early stages of the game. And I would say in the last 4 years, probably post-Pochettino era, it's definitely been something that can happen earlier in matches. And I think it has to be that the system, while not calling for those players to do it, is drilling it into their mind that they, if in doubt, sit back. And I think that's what it is. You know, I've been going back and forth over it for so long, so many years now as well. And I think that's what it is. I do think it's the natural, like I say, natural default option right now, and it's rubbish to watch. It's the worst style of football ever when they're doing that.